With XCOM 2 being the PlayStation Network free game for the month of June, many of you may have recently played it for the first time and thought, wow, that was unlike most games I've played. I wonder what other games are like that. XCOM is a series with passionate fans and not typical gameplay, so any fans of it, old and new alike, are always looking for games to scratch that XCOM itch. Here are a few similar games that I enjoyed. This list, like all lists on this channel, are purely from my perspective and experience. I don't use games that I have not played personally. I have not played Final Fantasy Tactics or any of the Fire Emblem games. From what I understand, they are a lot like XCOM, but I can't put them in here because I have not played them. These are not the 5 best XCOM style games, but 5 games to consider if you like XCOM. So don't argue about the order or anything like that, and if I missed any, please name them in the comments below. Falling Skies. I'm starting this list off with a game released on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 that is unashamedly a blatant XCOM clone that is covered in a cheap skin. And cheap might not be a harsh enough critique. While it kind of looks like that show from TNT that some people watch, it resembles XCOM more than anything else. From using the same character classes and upgrade perks to even the UI, this game copies XCOM to a T, and that is what killed it with the critics. Where it differs from XCOM is in its difficulty. This game is not hard by any means, but more importantly, there's not missing an easy shot multiple times in a row that is peppered throughout XCOM, which causes lots of rage quits. While this game doesn't do anything new for the genre, if all you're looking for is a game that is like XCOM, you can't find a game more like XCOM without replaying XCOM. But warning, don't be expecting anything amazing from a graphical or technical stand. Operation Darkness. Operation Darkness is an Xbox 360 exclusive that was published by Atlas and released in North America in 2008. It is set during World War II and has you take control of a squad of soldiers with supernatural abilities. Some have healing powers, some are telekinetic, and some are frickin' werewolves. This game allows you to recruit soldiers other than the main characters into your squad, and it has a permadeath feature, but if some of the main characters die during a mission, the mission will be a failure, unlike in XCOM how you'll keep going until eventually you're screwed. The game is punishingly difficult, partially because of dodgy camera/controls, but it does require a lot of strategy and saying goodbye to your soldiers in order to complete missions. A lot of people hate on this game because the graphics aren't any good when it released, but I've never let that keep me from enjoying a good game. This game, like the genre itself, is pretty niche and has a bit of a cult following out there. The game's story is just interesting enough to keep you wanting to play more, but it gets annoying when you fail a mission and have to repeat the cutscenes over and over and over again. Still, it's definitely worth checking out. Omerta, City of Gangsters. Omerta, released on PC, Mac, and Xbox 360, is a game based in Atlantic City during Prohibition. You play as an immigrant coming over to set up a criminal empire in America. You choose your background and some other things in the game for a little role-playing customization. Most of the game has you in a city view with a simulation type feel to it. You need to do things to acquire money so that you can open up new criminal enterprises so that you can make more money, all while avoiding or paying off the cops. There are legal and illegal enterprises to partake in, as well as certain goals to accomplish in certain neighborhoods serving as the levels to the game. You can recruit new members in your gang who each have different weapons, perks, and characteristics, but every so often you have to defend a business from an attack or go break a friend out of jail or go rob a bank, and that's when the game goes to its XCOM-like combat mode. It's a fun game that allows you to complete different objectives in different ways and has a multiplayer mode that unfortunately isn't very active. This is a game I enjoyed way more than I thought I would. The Banner Saga. The Banner Saga is an indie game that gets a lot of love from critics and people who pour through the troves of games out there looking for a diamond in the rough, and it deserves every ounce of love it gets. This game, on Xbox One, PC, Mac, PlayStation 4, and even the Nintendo Switch, is set in a world based on Norse mythology and has you leading a group of people on a voyage. Along the way you have to battle off the dredge who want to kill everyone. It is the player's job to determine where to camp and how to go about certain actions while on the journey. Different decisions lead to different outcomes. The combat is a great form of the tactical RPG where all of the combatants don't only have a health bar, they have a shield bar as well, adding a layer of strategy and whether or not to damage their shield health, which will allow future hits to do more damage to health, or skip damaging the shield and go straight for the character's health, which will deal a lower amount of damage. In fact, the game has quite a few interesting mechanics that help keep the combat from getting repetitive and stale. And the art style is quite amazing too, and there's a sequel as well. Two actually, because the third game is coming out soon, and when it does, there will be a bundle with all three games. And seeing as how the story follows through the trilogy Mass Effect style, it will be beneficial to a lot of people to get that bundle. Shadowrun Returns. This is my favorite game on the list. Released on PC and Mac after a successful Kickstarter campaign, this game brings back the world of Shadowrun, first created for tabletop, and eventually making its way to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive. This game puts the role-playing in tactical role-playing game. You play as a character you create from your choice of races and classes who is looking into the death of your friend and colleague. Your character is extremely customizable via various perks and abilities that unlock as your character levels up. The game takes you through the seedy streets of Seattle where you can talk to, make deals with, or fight a bunch of different characters. The game is great for anyone who's a fan of cyberpunk settings and could serve as a warm-up for those of us waiting for Cyberpunk 2077. The non-combat parts of this game are even more entertaining than the interesting and well-handled tactical RPG combat portions. This is the first in the series, and while they're all good, this one was my favorite. And with all of the player-created content available for the game via Steam, this is a game you can sink a lot of time into without having to do multiple playthroughs. Those are 5 games to play if you like XCOM. Most of them offer a different slant on the genre, but all 5 are games I enjoyed, and while they are niche, I think fans of tactical role-playing games will like them as well. Please like and subscribe, and as always, have a great rest of your day.